G'day everyone and welcome to the Chasedown. I'm your host, Matty G, on this Insight NBA edition, as I said, of the Chasedown. We're here to talk recaps. We're talking about must-adds. We've got NBA news, talking about how you can chase down a win in your league and make the most of your ads, but also a bit of a cheeky look ahead to week 9 when we go back to the future. All that and more coming at you after this.
Welcome to the ultimate super coach and fantasy sports show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Yes, indeed, you are. And I did say we would talk about some NBA news. And I guess one of the biggest interesting things happening on the landscape is the Draymond Green situation in the Golden State Warriors, with news coming down from the league about him today. So let's lead that off with NBA update. Yeah, look, it's an unfortunate situation. Draymond Green just continues to punch or kick or malign people. Obviously, early this week, we had the Nurkic situation, and he came out and he checked himself on it hard enough, and he was like, yeah, that wasn't good enough by me. But the big thing is today that in a Golden State situation where it is win or die in this Steph Curry season, Steve Kerr seems to be kind of playing the young blokes a little bit, which has been interesting. Now, I think one of the hottest ads was Podziemski in the last couple of days, and good old Poddy, he's going to do everyone very well coming off the back of his 20 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists game the other day. He saw 26 minutes, but we can look at that for one thing as well. Klay Thompson played like shit. So let's put them both in a situation where the Draymond Green here is so who do we add with Draymond Green being out? Well, we look to when Draymond Green wasn't with the Golden State Warriors to begin the season and he was behind. Who got a bump then? Chris Paul got a bump. Kuminga got more time. Moody got more time. Now, Poddy's going to come along and get some more minutes, and he's going to have flashes, but he's there as a utility more so for when Klay isn't doing the job. And Klay has checked himself hard, and he's like, I played like shit. Like, he just come out and he's like, I've been playing like shit. I need to do better. And he does. So is this also opening a bit of a buy low window on Klay Thompson? Like, sometimes it just happens where players get old enough and fall off a cliff, but it's also a contract year where he's been pushing for max money. And the news also today, funnily enough, out of the Golden State Warriors, was that they actually offered him a contract in the preseason. And it was only 2 years and I think $40 million, $48 million over 2 years. And it was a no from Klay. So this is an interesting situation in Golden State. They're coupled together, the holy trinity in Golden State of Steph, Klay, and Draymond. Now, Draymond is out indefinitely. So to answer that question, your ads are the usual ads. It's definitely Chris Paul, it's Moody, it's Kuminga, and Poddy. But Poddy was more a result the other night of Klay playing like shit. Now, if Klay has to step up in this time, and he's got that, he does have that competitor in him, and he's a prideful kind of guy. So I think we could probably see a bump in Klay in this immediate future where the Golden State Warriors need to win games without Draymond Green there. And if he can do it now, I think you need to put him on a buy low window and send out some trades possibly for Klay Thompson, because you're probably going to be able to get him for pretty cheap. He might even be on your waiver wire. In fact, I haven't done even I should actually do this thing here. I should do the research on it right now and find out whereabouts Klay Thompson is in leagues, because I know he's been dropped when I looked the other day and he was actually gone down. So people, as a result of him getting benched the other day, were like, Klay's had it, he's cooked, he's done. He might be, but he also might not be. Now, you could drop him if there's a guy that comes along for more upside, but people are holding on by a thread to the guy. He's gone down to 88%. So he's just gone down the other day from 90% to 89 and to 88, but it's definitely a buy low season for him. He's had one decent game of 22 points recently with the 4 threes. We love that from him going 400, but it's just been up and down. You might be able to make a nice trade for him or just throw on a hot guy on the waiver wire. You could even probably add a Tari Eason. He'll come up, by the way, in hot waiver guys and hot guys in a second. Wait for that part of the show. But this is an opportunity for you to buy low on him. So I guess that comes back to our recap of the day. What do you do in the Golden State Warriors in that new situation? Well, you get who you've always got. You got Chris Paul, you got Moody, you've got Kuminga. They're all going to get bumps. Saric still get a bump. And Poddy, he's going to get a bump, but also only when Klay is playing like shit. With that being said, though, let's get down to it. Let's do a bit of a recap and a rewind of today's NBA action. He's really fucking good at basketball, Joel Embiid, isn't he? Yeah, the 76ers 129 over a piss poor Detroit Pistons. Yep, They're crap, 111. They just don't win basketball games. They've won 2 all year. They're 2-22. If you could smash the unders on that at the beginning of the season, put a house on it for under 20 games, yeah, you're looking pretty bloody safe as houses right now for that bet. They are hopeless. Now, obviously, Bojan Bogdanovic getting the 33 points was a massive up for them. And for those of you who snared him off the waiver wire or grabbed him last minute, he has been very serviceable since his return, but they're still not winning games. And what happened last year I'm just curious to see if they run him out there again, because at the end of the year when they didn't, he was injuries, Detroit things, and he just didn't play. But again, they had Matrix, and I talked about this the other night. The Philadelphia 76ers are blessed. Like, they kissed on the dick this week. They've got 2 games against the Wiz and 2 games against the Pistons. 2 truly piss poor organizations who are not performing basketball very, very well right now. They get a massive win. Again, nothing real surprise or news to come out of these ones. Joel Embiid, apart from, again, an absolutely monstrous game. Tyrese Maxey, he was a little bit down today too from 13. We can't glean too much from that. Batum, again, getting the start there. Coming off the bench, though, I think it was good to see Kelly Oubre get back in, add peripherals for him and a couple of steals for Kelly Oubre, who was still floating around on some waiver wires. Look for him to be getting the minutes that he gets. Look, they've just been rolling along right now. A bit of a bounce back game for Tobias Harris. We did say he was buy low the other week, but this is why buying like you would have tried to buy low on Tobias, because then he comes back in a game like this, 21 points, he gets the assist, he gets the 7 rebounds and the block shot, which is nice. Perfect from the free throw line, 7 from 10 for the field, including 3 from 5 from 3-point land. You love that. And what can we say about the Detroit Pistons apart from, Bojan Bogdanovic, incredible again today, 11 from 19. Cade Cunningham is performing well. It's a shame that the other peripherals, like some steals and blocks, haven't come along there for Cade this season. 5 from 17, not very good. 1 from 8 from 3, not great. The 10 from 12 from the stripe. It's good to see him being aggressive and getting to the cup. But again, I can't stress enough that I think there's like this bit of a buy low opportunity on Asar Thompson. And I'm in one league where he's been in a trade right now. People are like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, but really, is it? Because he's down right now, 5 from 7. That's good to see his efficiency up. So it's getting to the cup shots. It's those easy makes. So the percentages are good. The 8 rebounds is good. But why he was that fantasy darling at the beginning of the season was the massive steal and block numbers. And he is the best defender in the Detroit Pistons. And obviously, those numbers just haven't been there right now. Killian Hayes has fallen off the radar, so you could probably just drop him as well for those of you still holding on to Killian Hayes stock for that one. In the next one, again, the battle of the dueling shithouse organizations. The Washington Wizards, surprise, surprise, they got a loss against the Pelicans, who were Zionless today. But again, what we can gain from this fantasy is a Kyle Kuzma. We said at the beginning of the season, I said it, Skiddy said it, I'm pretty sure Matrix Dell said it as well. The best Wizard is Kyle Kuzma, and he backed that up today. Brandon Ingram, a massive line with 40 points today. The Pelicans are just chugging along. What I think we can get value from here is Jose Alvarado. The 2 steals again, 7 points, 2 rebounds, and the assist is nice. 1 from 2 from the free throw line. We don't like that from Jose. We like him to make his volume on the 2 from 2 that he might get per game as well. Nice there. But it was good to see Dyson Daniels getting the start. Not good for his efficiency though, but good to see him get out there and get some run. Najee Marshall in the backup spot there. I like what Najee's doing. He's a nice little stream option today, but an absolutely massive game from Trey Murphy. Now, 27 points, a block, a steal, an assist, and 6 rebounds. I held him in IR for the beginning of the season in one league, and I am just look at this, and I'm like, what a big horse. Actually, I should play the big horse out for it, because I know that in one league as well, our big horse, Mickey Dell from the Inside Podcast Network, he picked him up. He's like, oh, he's coming back. I'm just going to grab him. I saw him dunk. Mick messaged me, and he was like, I saw him dunk in warm-ups. He's got his legs back, and he does. So shout out Big Horse Awards today for Trey Murphy III. Oh, an absolute gleaning one for that bloke there. Nothing we can really glean out of that so much there, but I do like what's happening with the Heat and the Hornets. Now, this was a bit of a bite on the arse game. Now, massive game from Trae Young. These have been far and few in between. The 17 assists is absolutely massive, and you love that. That can really help buoy you in your league for the week. 4 from 9 from downtown. A great game from him. I would just like to shout out to Sadiq Bey, who I own in a league where 3-point percentage is there today. And I own Miles Bridges and Sadiq Bey in this one particular league. Shout out iLeague. G'day, lads. And I'm looking at my 3-point percentage, and I like what they bring by way of 3-point percentage. And I look down, And between them, there was 0 from 12 or 0 from 14 at one point. Like whatever it was dumb. I think Miles Bridges hit one in like the last 5 minutes of the game versus Miami. And I was like, fuck me. Absolutely tanking my 3-point percentage. And this is the thing, Sadiq can be a lot better than that. He missed all of his threes today, which is unlike him. 2 steals, the 2 assists, the 10 rebounds is absolutely huge work. But I like the 30 minutes from Okongwu today. These were good minutes from him. 13 points, 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. 30 Okongwu minutes with 34 Capella movements, and Wesley Matthews, 14 minutes and then off. Bogdan Bogdanovic, this is a good tight 8 rotation from Atlanta. This was a big game for them. 135, they get the win over the Raptors get the win 135 over the Hawks, but this was a good tight 8-man rotation for them. So I like what I'm seeing if this is going to be where Okongwu goes, considering the people have dropped him. I don't know if he's going to get 30 minutes every night, but this is what he is capable of in this system. 3 threes from him, taking 5 shots from the corner, stretching the floor for the Atlanta Hawks. They didn't get the win because a massive game from their starting 5. Like their starting 5 lineup today, absolutely great job. Jakob Poeltl hitting 5 of 8 free throws. I love it. 13 rebounds, 15 points from him. Front to back, huge. The biggest news of the day, though, this was like a bit of one of these moments. I looked down and I saw that Pascal Siakam went 5 from 6 from 3. He has been absolutely atrocious from 3. It's like his 3-pointer just disappeared. It like just evaporated one night. It's like, oh, you can't shoot this season. Really, Pascal? Interesting. But it was back in spades today. An absolutely massive game for Pascal Siakam. 7 assists, 7 rebounds, and the 33 points. He is trade bait. Like there's been a lot of talk in NBA circles of him and OG Anunoby going, and Barnes will be one of the things. They're kind of in this rebuild formula. They traded to get Poeltl in last year, and he's been a lot better. Like he's gone through the fire with Darko. It's either one or two of those guys both go, and they're starting to hit their form. I'm officially declaring the buy low window on OG Anunoby shut, because I was one of the guys who owns him, and I said, look, I'm probably going to look at an offer right now, and I might not be happy about it in a couple of weeks, but I'm getting to that point. He was coming back from injury, to be fair, but 10 from 13, 2 from 5 from 3. He has been shooting the 3 better, to be fair, this season, but 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. I like it a lot, the 22 points from OG. And Schroeder, just another solid game from him going around and doing Schroeder things. I love his free throw percentage. I love his hustle stats. I love his blocks. I love his steals. It's like a little Freddie Van Vliet running around there in Toronto these days, but that's a massive game from Pascal, and that's why we keep our eyes on him, because he's a perfect fit in the Golden State Warriors. We've all heard of that trade scenario that Pascal goes there, but this is why. Because they'd package like a Kuminga and a Wiggins to go to Toronto for a Pascal Siakam, because they need a floor stretching guy who can play well, defend and rebound, which Pascal brings. But this is the 3-point shooting that we want from him. Great game overall for the Toronto Raptors, getting the win at home against the Atlanta Hawks. Next up on our daily schedule, we have the Grizzlies taking another L this season. Not good for the Grizz, but only 3 more games until Ja Morant comes back for them, and the Houston Rockets getting a big one. The big news of today was Tari Eason. Now, Tari Eason is available on so many ways. We're going to talk about Tari very, very soon, but Tari Eason is going to be absolutely swept up in a lot of leagues, and we love this from him. The minutes have been there for him the last 2 games, and he's performing along with it. Now, the caveat on Tari Eason is his free throw percentage. 2 from 4 today from the line, 0 of 1 from yesterday. Look, he hit 2 from 2, 3 from 4, 3 from 4. So the caveat on all that you hype there, if you are someone who's really needing to just make sure that that's solid, yeah, just make sure you're one of these guys. If you're a punting free throw percentage team, you really move on him, because he's starting to get the minutes and he's starting to get some run. 10 of 16, 3 threes, 25 points, 14 rebounds, and a 1-1-1, an assist, a steal, and a block with 3 turnovers. So you put those 3 together and you get 3 turnovers at the bloody end. But an absolutely massive game for them. I like the Rockets a lot. I think they're a really, really fun team. And this is one of the reasons why Jabari Smith Jr. having a decent one today, the 20 points across the board. The starters, this is the buy low window still open on Jalen Green. He hasn't been very good after a really nice start. The 4 assists are nice, but what else has he given you? 0 from 5 from 3. Just, you might be able to put some feelers out there, because Jalen Green is a movable piece in a lot of leagues. The one thing that I'd like to say, though, is Fred VanVleet doesn't seem that aggressive right now. Only 8 shots for him. And when other people are cooking, he seems very, very open to deferring. When he is just pushing the tempo and getting his like 18 to 22 points a game and still managing to pull down like the 5 rebounds, the 9 assists, the 3 steals for him are nice. We know that that's what he does, but I'm just curious to see him be more aggressive in this system. A lot of it runs through Alpi, and Şengün's doing a great job with that. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, you can't say, oh, Matty, but you can't say that. He got 9 assists today. Yeah, okay. But a lot of the offense doesn't swing back to Fred. And that's where if he does get those last minute shots off, only seeing Fred VanVleet take 3 threes in a game and hitting none of them, for me, it's a little bit odd, if you want to say that. Because this is a guy who loves his 3, loves it on volumes, loves to size up his defenders. But I guess the big news of today is this. Fuck me, Jaren Jackson Jr. is on a heater, isn't he? 44 points today. 1 block, 4 steals, 2 assists, 7 rebounds. What a massive game. 11 from 13 from the stripe, 15 of 24. He's basically been like, it's all right, boys. I'll just try and carry us for one more week. The must add right now for a stream on a back-to-back situation for the Grizzlies is Derrick Rose. I love looking at this. I love 7 from 14, 1 from 4 from 3. That's fine. Perfect from the stripe. I love it. I love the 6 assists, and I love the block from Derrick Rose. And let's be honest, we're all a little bit nostalgic for Derrick. If you can get Derrick on your team, they are so poor with guard depth right now. They need to roll this guy out there. They've got 3 games until Jar comes back. And you know what? We're looking at probably about 5 or 6 games until Marcus Smart's back. And you won't be able to have Derrick roster for more than, unless these guys go down again on your year. Look, give him a rest on the back-to-back games where the Grizz have, because I think you'll be able to get a nice little bit of burn from Derrick Rose in the Memphis Grizzlies. But they look taking another L today. And let's be honest, we're not all that surprised. Can we just say this was like, actually, I feel like it's this one. Strap yourself in and feel the G's. The G harness. Oh, the G. The I can't even speak looking at this one. Giannis Antetokounmpo today with 64 points, a career high for Yanni. This is a massive game from him. It was a huge display from them after getting taken out in the tournament. This was 100% like a revenge game for not getting all the way there and putting a little bit of Eastern Conference back on these lads, 100%. Because the darlings of the East right now are without doubt the Indiana Pacers. This was just Milwaukee being like, don't forget about us. And this was an average game as well for Damian Lillard. 21 points is average for Damian Lillard. The 6 assists and 4 rebounds is like 2 from 8 from 3. Not great. Giannis, 20 from 28. 24 out of 32 free throws. The man took 32 free throws today. That is insane. 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and a block. That is about a complete stat line as you could hope to imagine from any NBA fantasy player, and a career high for Yanni today. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is an incredible basketball player, and he won't do this all the time. So if you're an owner of him, you would have just been sitting back today, being like, yep. And the 24 from 32 as well. That volume, you really like that as well. A bit of a down game from Hallie today, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 22 points for that. And I say down game for him only because he's been exceptionally averaging over 10 assists today. He held them back in this one. It was a Bruce Brown game, almost triple-double. I was more impressed by than anything else. Brucey has this. You want Brucey to be getting about 12 or 13 points a game. And if he could get about like 6 assists and about 6 rebounds, and he could keep these 2 steals, he would be a must roster in every league. But he's been picked up and dropped every now and then. But this is the kind of Swiss Army knife utensil that Brucey Brown does. Obi Toppin, welcome back to the waiver wire. 2 from 7 game today. I said it last week when the Pacers were playing up against the Bucks. I'm like, just look for Yanni to absolutely destroy Toppin. And he didn't, by all merits, in that game, but he absolutely destroyed Obi today. Again, good minutes here from Naismith as well, 12 points for him. But again, he just has been scoring and releasing the 3 a little bit, and nothing else there for the Pacers. Nothing really else to glean there. Obviously, TJ McConnell is getting a bit more of a run with Nembhard out right now. So if you want some extra steals or some assists and you want to stream that in, look for him as your option there. I did glean over the Heat and the Hornets game earlier today because the Hornets still suck without LaMelo, and they haven't been that great all season. Nick Richards getting the start today as well with Markey out. But I think what we can look at here is the Heat. there is an opportunity for you to get some value right now. I'm picking up and streaming some Heat players. Now, they're on the back-to-back set, and they're finishing that out. Jimmy Butler, 15 points, but team high 23 points today from Duncan Robinson, 6 from 9 from deep for the bloke, 3 from 3, perfect from the free throw line, the 3 assists, the 2 steals, the 2 rebounds, just chipping in everything for Duncan, especially while there's an opportunity right now for Duncan Robinson to be in your team. Now, they've just finished up the back-to-back. You're not going to get that, but you do have another Heat game this week. So look to see if you can stream Duncan in, especially if you need points and some threes, because he'll be able to drip those in right now. Haskes continues to be a must-roster player if he's still around on your wire. And Kyle Lowry, 17 points again. Nice bum back from him. He's had a couple of great games lately, Kyle. Just some value. The 1 assist was unusually small for him, but Jimmy Butler doing the 10 dimes and almost missing out on a triple-double on that one. I've been more curious, though, lately on the Charlotte Hornets. Brandon Miller is still available in a lot of leagues. And we said last week, the guy that you want to sell high on is Gordon Hayward. This is still very much the case with Gordo. Today, perfect from the stripe, 7 from 12 from the line, the 7 assists, the 5 rebounds, 20 points. It's a sexy stat line. Sell high on him because it is a matter of a time before LaMelo is back in this lineup and his usage is going to go down slightly, or he's quite possibly a trade target with his contract. And so he could go and his role could find himself on a contender quite easily. But it's definitely a sell high on Gordon Hayward window. That is right up there. Huge game today. The Lakers and the Spurs, 122-119, came down to 3 points. The Spurs went hammer and tongs in that fourth quarter. They brought it back. They had 15 points more in the fourth. Wembanyama, a massive double-double game going up against AD, who's well been on a bender, but it was a LeBron-less Los Angeles Lakers today. So continue to look around for those stream targets when LeBron is out. Game time decisions as well. Rui Hachimura got the start in there today and a noticeable serving from him with the 13 points, the 7 rebounds, and the 3 dripped in, and the assist is not too bad. Vando only getting the 17 minutes as he works back on. Austin Reeves continues to cook and do Austin things. And Taurean Prince again. A really good game from Taurean Prince. He is on the improve, and he is definitely a streaming target for when the Lakers are on a back-to-back or on low-volume days, especially when he's getting the 30 minutes a night. Now, maybe they played him more tonight with LeBron being out there, but the 3-point shot seems to be coming back with him, and he seems to be more confident in taking them. He started off absolutely stinking, but he has been a little bit on Fuego from late and getting multiple threes in a game, as well as giving you some of those valuable steals and block numbers. So Taurean Prince is a nice little pickup there. The Nets, can somebody say revenge game? Because I tell you now, this was an absolutely blistering start from Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. They got the win in their return to the Phoenix Suns. Cam Johnson, 15 points, 5 of 10. He started off, he was so hot. He didn't miss, and then he missed. He missed quite a few shots after that, but he was absolutely stellar to start the game. But the 2 steals and the 2 blocks to go with 4 assists and 5 rebounds is a complete Cam Johnson line, and we love that. Claxton is just having an absolute rip snorter of a season. We want multiple blocks from Clacko. The 1, a little bit down on what we want from him, but a nice serviceable game as well from Spencer Dinwiddie with the 8 rebounds and the 7 assists, and Cam Thomas getting the start in there on the shooting guard spot with 24 points, 4 from 8 from 3. That is a noticeably cool thing for Cam Thomas because he doesn't usually get the threes in volume, and today was a nice one. DFS continues to be a little bit of a stream target today, but this was the big news because the big 3 of the Phoenix Suns finally got to start and roll out there together, and it was 34 minutes as well from Bradley Beal. This was a brand new lineup for them. Shabazzi Metu playing the power forward spot was their starter there. Nurkic with the 31 minutes, 15 points, the 22 rebounds from him, absolutely huge. Against a big team as well. Like, they're rangy and long guys who can rebound in Brooklyn. I actually was expecting Claxton to get at least 10 rebounds today. Like, I was looking at a punt today where it was like Claxton, like 10 plus rebounds. I'm like, given. He'll be out there just close to the rim the whole time. But 22 rebounds, 6 offensive boards as well from Nurkic was absolutely huge. 22 points, 3 assists, and the 15. Kevin Durant is just great at basketball. It's what he does, a complete line, including the 2 blocks. Devin Booker cooked as well. But this is the curious thing. They still got the loss. This is the interesting thing about the Phoenix Suns. This was the lineup that was an NBA championship contending one. They threw it all at it. They got rid of 2 of their young core pieces in Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. They sent them to Brooklyn. They returned to town. And this team, without one of their rangy big defenders, especially in, I guess, Ben Simmons, who they'd be thrown out there on guys like Kevin Durant or Devin Booker at different times. Hello, Kendall Jenner match. Look, this was a bit of a surprise. I'm not going to lie. Phoenix came out of the gun slow and they fought their way back in it. But the quality that the Brooklyn Nets showed down the stretch to get this win was absolutely serviceable. They only also played Drew Eubanks the 4 minutes today because Nurkic was absolutely going for a ripper. But yeah, the Nets get the win. Nothing we can really glean, but Cam Thomas is available in some leagues still. People are unsure about him when he returned. And talking about returns today, in his return, Lauri Markkanen and the Utah Jazz got a win against the New York Knicks. Now, Jericho Sims again started, and he played 18 minutes in the center spot, and Hartenstein played 29 minutes. So they're just rolling Jericho out there to start, and then it's like, no, bugger off. Let's get Isaiah out there and see what we can go from that one. It's an important to note thing that Donte DiVincenzo is starting to get more opportunity in this team currently with their injuries and their ins and the outs. And as well today, he was listed as possibly playing, but then he got rolled into the starting lineup, was Emmanuel Quickly. And he played 18 minutes today, 6 from 8, 15 points with him, and the 2 steals is nice from Quickly. But DiVincenzo has a little bit of cheeky stream value right now. And the 4 steals from him today was something that you want in your lineup, especially when steals can be one of those categories that can just be so bloody close each week. So getting guys like Matrix actually called this the other day. He was looking at Donte DiVincenzo with some opportunity with Mitch Robinson being out for quite an extended period of time. So I continue to say roll the dice on Donte because he would be a nice little streaming option in the New York Knicks. Utah Jazz, Fontecchio started off there. So they in the forward spot as well, which is really interesting to see. But they're absolutely laywayed with injuries right now. And obviously the big news here was that Keontae George has gone down. Now, he's going to be out until the 18th. And in this regard, Colin Sexton still continues to cook. With Jordan Clarkson also being out for a period of time, it's kind of Sexton season in many ways. 10 from 18 from the 4 today, 26 points, but the 7 assists. Now, he's not going to give you a defensive stack to save your bloody life sometimes, Colin Sexton. But the 7 assists and the 4 rebounds are nice. The 3 from 8 and the perfect shooting line from 3 is nice. And in his return, capped at 25 minutes, was Lauri Markkanen. Now, Kelly Olynyk got the start tonight. 9 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, an almost triple-double from Kelly. Walker Kessler was healthy, came back, 23 minutes, 4 from 7, 8 rebounds, and 3 block shots. We love that. Now, they're on a back-to-back set, the Utah Jazz. I'm curious to see if they just hold Walker back a little bit as he makes his way back in here. It was interesting to see them just roll out Yurtseven there as well for 5 minutes with walking Kessler back. If Kessler doesn't play on the second night of the back-to-back set, I think we could probably glean some value there in what's coming on that one. And I think talking about the back-to-back sets, it kind of has to go to talking about other things like this. Your dream home. If you have thought about your dream home, reach out to Ryan at Astute Newstead. Use promo code INSIDE. If you've ever wondered if it can be yours, it can with Ryan's help. Check out his link in the description below on our YouTube channel and on all our audios. If you are in Australia, if you want an obligation-free quote about your financial situation to put yourself and that roof over your family's head sooner rather than later to make your lifestyle yours, reach out to Ryan at Astute Newstead and reach out to us for your week back-to-backs because we are looking now at the Thursday and Friday action. And there is only one team that's going to do that for you this week, and that is the Boston Celtics. Now, Hauser and Pritchard are the only 2 major streams here right now, so we're going to probably look at those 2 as our major targets here. But let's look at our game review and what we're going to glean from this low-volume day.
He's heating up.
Yeah, as we said, there is a low-volume day going on tomorrow, and this is one that was interesting that we picked out in the earlier in the week. There was that Thursday game, as we said, we're looking at for the games, and it's the Cavs versus the Celtics, the Bulls and the Heat, the Timberwolves and the Mavs, the Nets and the Nuggets, the Jazz and the Trailblazers. Yeah, let's look at a bit of a game preview of what's happening for the day's actions tomorrow. We have a bunch of games happening across the NBA. This is one of the higher volume days that we're looking at. We're looking at a bunch of games across the NBA. We are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 7? It is 7. What's going on with this 1, 2?
He's heating up.
Yeah, that's right. We're looking at the game preview tomorrow. It's a lower volume day. There's 7 games ahead. We've got the Cavs and the Celtics. Now, this is the first game, as I said, where the Celtics are on a back-to-back set. So we're looking to stream in Hauser and Pritchard as our main 2 targets there with them. The Cleveland Cavaliers, look, there's a few other better options around on this one, and I want to talk about that when I talk about the Bulls and the Heat right now. The Heat are on the second back-to-back set. You are definitely looking at picking up Duncan Robinson if you're chasing points and threes. He is a must-roster guy to get those for you, but also some of the other peripherals he's been doing lately are right off the charts. So I'm definitely looking at Duncan Robinson as my pickup in this game tomorrow. Timberwolves and the Mavericks. Look, the Mavericks have been smashed by injuries of lately. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been on a heater. Dante Exum against the Lakers the other night was incredible. Grant Williams as well. There is opportunities for any one of these 3 guys to be serviceable in your lineup, especially with Kyrie still out. And the rumor was from Jason Kidd in an interview that Kyrie was in a walking boot and crutches. He could have possibly played the Laker game was the first news. He didn't play in the Laker game. And now he's on crutches and in a walking boot to heal his heel injury. Say that with your fingers on your tongue 3 times fast. So I'm probably looking at those guys more than any other Timberwolf right now to get my most juice out of it. The Nuggets, the big news here is that obviously he's not going to get hopefully tossed again, but he can be an angry man, Nikola Jokic. But Jamal Murray is back, so Reggie Jackson takes a hit. Strather could be another streaming option in there. But the real value here in the Nets could be a DFS to get you some extra run in there, or Cam Thomas as well. Funnily enough, is available in some leagues. In 10-person leagues, if he's the starting shooting guard in the Nets, you definitely want to get him into your lineups as soon as you can because he is seeing minutes right now, and we like minutes because minutes give us opportunity. And the man's a scorer. So if you're in a points league especially, you're looking at Cam Thomas as a must-add guy there, especially in those leagues where he still is randomly available after coming back, and then he's been in and out and he's been in the bench role. So just keep your eyes on what's happening there, especially in the interim with Ben Simmons still out, and just get the value while you can maximize it. The Jazz is the interesting one for me to watch tomorrow. I do like the opportunity that has come up for Colin Sexton. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But Kelly Olynyk on the second back of a back-to-back set with Walker Kessler coming back. I think Kelly Olynyk is definitely the play. And Fontecchio is still getting some spot starts there as well. In the Kings, Keegan Murray is much maligned. Keegan Murray is probably one of the most ceiling players that we have going around in some leagues. And Keegan Murray can be rostered in a lot. Now, look, the problem with Keegan is his consistency. And people are adding him and throwing him back. I've just brought him up in one of my leagues. And he was added on the 12th. So he was added 2 days ago in one league that I'm in. Shout out to you, Mick Dell. He was dropped on the 30th, the 11th. He was added by one guy. He was added and dropped. He has seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different rosters in this one league I'm looking at right now. That's 6 different rosters that he's gone through in a 12-man league. That's half of the league have had their hands on Keegan Murray. Now, he's 78% owned in Yahoo, but he's starting to play more minutes. He's starting to put it together. Now, he's not offering you the peripherals, but the points are there. He didn't have any threes last game, which is what we also want from him. We want some rebounds. We want some steals. We want some defensive stats, but he also doesn't turn the ball over much. And sometimes that can really help you to win your week. So I'm looking at Keegan Murray there as an ad in the leagues that he is available to bring on him in for tomorrow's action. Also, I'm looking for the Warriors and the Clippers, and Norm Powell is a much watch. We did kind of cover Norm Powell is a much watch and ad, especially because of Paul George the other day. So let's talk about these guys as our hot waiver wire guys. I think it's almost a perfect segue to who am I looking at? Who's hot? Who are my waiver targets in Chasedown?
Targets acquired.
Yeah, look, I absolutely love Norman Powell with these blokes. Now, Paul George went down to the locker room and it was his groin injury, and Ty Lue said at the end of the game that he was available to come back but didn't play him. But this is a slippery slope when adding Paul George. Now, whenever Paul George sits, Norm Powell's going to get a bump in value, but Norm Powell's also been playing well enough to roster. He's just been 38% rostered. So I think there's an opportunity for him to fly under the radar, much like Keegan Murray in some of these spots. He gets you points, he gets you threes, he gets you outside stuff. And he's not a sexy name to have on your roster. So we're not really looking at Norm Powell too much, but we probably should be looking at streaming him, especially if Paul George does miss time, or they just want to be cautious because they're starting to put a little bit together in LA after a bit of a fringy start after Harden came in. The other guy who I'm talking about right now as our waiver target guy is Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton in Yahoo leagues is 50% rostered. Now, that's up 9% in the last day. He was 40% rostered yesterday, and then today he's gone up to 50%. Now, he has put together a couple of nice games of 20 points plus in the last couple, and that is absolutely huge. 10 from 18 today, as I said earlier, massive. It also put together a peripheral steal in a game with 2 steals in the game prior. So Colin Sexton, especially with Jordan Clarkson out for an extended period of time, is a must-add guy. I'm definitely looking for Colin to get more of a run, and that's incredibly important for them to get him into the Utah Jazz. Also, again, by nature, as I said, look, Fontecchio is getting there, but there are some sexy names. I know I touched on him, not too hard, but I did touch on him at the beginning of the show, and I said Tari Eason. Tari Eason is flying up the ownership charts in Yahoo League. He has gone from 21% rostered to 31% rostered. Now, that 31% rostered is massive for him, and he's come on the back of 2 games where he's ramped up in the minutes. So he hadn't hit more than 20 minutes early in the season until the other game where he hit 22 against OKC on the 6th of December. He's gone up to 27 minutes almost in his last 2 games and put in 18 points. He's got 14 rebounds in each. If you are looking to chase rebounds, this is the guy you want to be pulling in. If you want some points, pull him. Now, his efficiency is there right now. That's fair, but the free throw percentages are not. Another guy we're looking at must owning right now. Also, there's a little thing with Tari Eason as well. We want to have a look around with the games because next week with Christmas Eve, it's a bit of a short week as well. So we want to start to plan that out because on Christmas Eve next week, it takes away a whole night of games for us. And so that's what we want to be looking at. We want to look about who can we get the most value out of next week again in yet another short NBA week, much like last week. It's kind of like Back to the Future. It's like Back to the NBA future when we start looking around on this one. And next week, we're looking for some extra games. You can start looking at fringy guys around the guard spots in the league because this is the guys who are going to get those minutes in a short week. And we'll do that on big breakdown of the short week on the crossover with Matrix on Sunday night or Monday if you're in the US. Monday in Australia, Sunday on the US to set you up for your week ahead. So we'll give you some more on that one right there as well. Tari Eason for me is an absolute must-add guy. And I want to do a deep cut as well. And I want to shout out to Kevin Love. I had him in my team yesterday. He didn't get what I needed him to. It was just fun to own Kevin Love for a day. And I threw him back today because I need to pick up someone else and some points and threes in the category. But Orlando Robinson hasn't been playing that well after being everyone's favorite little darling in Miami. Duncan Robinson has been absolutely hot, and he's been the must-add guy, as I say, tomorrow for the Miami Heat because they've got that second game of the back-to-back set. But Kevin Love is doing some serviceable work if you need some more rebounds or to buoy your free. He's a big who can buoy your free throw percentage, your good field goal percentage, and stretch the floor. And also play make, get some blocks, and get some steals. I think the better ad tomorrow is Kelly Olynyk, but I just want to give a shout out to Kevin Love for taking the opportunity because he had a blinder the other day with almost a big double-double game. He's one of those similar types like the Dario Saric's who's comes in and out of lineups, like we said the other day, with Keegan Murray. He's in a lineup, he's out of a lineup, he's in a lineup, he's out of a lineup. But Super Dario right now also has more of an opportunity to succeed, especially with the lack of Draymond Green for the undetermined future as well. So we definitely want to look at Kuminga as an ad, and also we're looking to get in the games for the rest of the week, Gogo Badadze. We want to milk Gogo Badadze because we've got games for the Magic on the 15th and the 17th this week. Gogo's got 2 games back, and we don't think Wendell Carter Jr. is going to reappear this week, and they're going to have him ready and fresh to go for next week. So if that's the case, if you're looking to stream in blocks, which is a hard category to get a couple of blocks out of game, Gogo Badadze becomes your guy to add in there as one of your must roster guys. Now, he is 25% rostered. He has gone up 8% in the last day. So he was under 20% rostered in most leagues on Yahoo. So he is absolutely readily available for you. But the big names right now are definitely Tari Eason, Colin Sexton. And again, I'm just really loving what Duncan Robinson has put together. If you look at the string of games that he has and 40 minutes today, huge minutes from him. Team high, massive points, all but one game where he shot absolute shit versus Cleveland and went 0 from 7. That was a stinker of a game. 1 point, 1 assist, not very good from Duncan whatsoever. But in all the other games, he has put together amazing value and can be added for this one. Now, the Miami Heat, they play tomorrow, and then they've got games on the 16th and 18th. So it's a game day, no game. game day. And the Heat, there's a low volume game days as well. So you want to make the most of that this week. Takes the day off and is back next week. They've got games every other day. And then from the 18th, there's a break until the 20th. So you're getting some good value and maximization out of Duncan Robinson right now. So for me, Duncan is one of my favorite ads on the waiver wire right now. I'm also keeping my eyes on as well just how it plays out in Phoenix with guys like Jordan Goodwin and Eric Gordon. Now, Eric Gordon randomly just didn't play today. And so that was a little bit of a surprise for those people who were like looking to bring him in. Bradley Beal's return. So keep our eye on the Phoenix situation and what's happening there. Guys, I've been Matty G. You take care of yourself. Those are my ads. That's how you can chase down your win. Look for those ones. Comment below. Let us know who you've picked up and if it's worked out for you. We'll chat you soon. Make sure you like and subscribe to All Content Insight. We'll see you soon.